Okay, so you've probably realized that I'm not finished, and I'll put my hand up now and apologize for bringing the English weather with me over the next couple of days. So I'm sorry about that. So if that's the reason why you don't want to say hello to me, that's fine. So let's maybe try that again. Hyvää huomenta Helsinki. Excellent, thank you very much. So my job today is to help you demystify the concept of artificial intelligence. We're going to be looking at the challenges that businesses face when it comes to looking at artificial intelligence and the subsets of artificial intelligence. Then I'm going to be taking you through what Tia was talking about earlier, was the people, the strategy, and the business value. I've got some great data to share with you today. I've got some challenging data for you to really think about whether or not the decision to start using artificial intelligence is the right choice for your business. Now, my name's Warren Knight, as you've already heard earlier. I've written a book called Think Digital First. I actually rewrote it again last year. And over here, I have more importantly, some of my bees' honey. Now, I've got 50,000 bees, and this is the honey that they produce towards the end of the summer, and I extracted 40 pounds of honey out of my bees, and I've got some of my honey to give away to you today. Who here would like some of this honey? A copy of my book, I know. Copy book, honey? Yeah, it's not that easy. So what I would like you to do, because we're talking about going through a digital transformation here, I want you guys to grab your mobile phones, take your phone out. If you would like a copy of my book and you would like some of my honey, just take a picture. Does my bum look big in these trousers? No. Take a picture of the stage and make sure you use the hashtag #DigitalFirst. You can see my Twitter handle is @WarrenKnight. Don't forget we've got the 2 hashtags that we're using for management events. And just take some pictures, not only throughout my presentation, but also through the rest of the day. And I will be commenting and having conversations with you guys on Twitter, and I'll come and find you, and I'll give you a copy of my book and let you win some of my lovely honey. Remember this guy? Do you realize how disappointed I was when, I got married in my first marriage. I got married and she had a 7-year-old daughter. And it was a great excuse for me to be able to go out and buy this new little toy that was around that was saying that it was able to learn English and it could do this and it could do that. And then when I realized that actually all it was a very simple response system. And then also it had a little clock timer inside of it that then would activate it every so often. Now, whether you know this or not, but the US ended up banning Furbies. Now, this little guy that you're looking at on the screen at the moment, he's now worth $250 being sold on eBay. I was amazed at how people actually are still selling these Furbies at this price. Now, things have evolved quite a lot over the years as far as the artificial intelligence is concerned. But if we just take a couple of steps back over the last kind of 20 years, and if you might remember this, but this is where Kasparov got beaten by the Deep Blue machine. They actually had 6 games where he got beaten in the first game, he then won the next 3 games, and then they drew the next 2 games. That was back in 1996. In 1997, he played the computer again in front of an audience and got beaten. Now, whilst we're talking about over 20 years ago, things haven't changed that much. Because when you think about what Google have done with their DeepMind, and look at, they've spent $35 million on producing Zero, which was able to do exactly the same thing, so beat a world champion at a board game, but this time, it was able to do it from scratch in 72 hours. So from not knowing the board game to the point of beating this world champion only in 72 hours. Whereas 20 years ago, we're talking about nearly a year where they had to go away and reprogram it and come back and then beat Kasparov. So things have moved on. Technology has moved on. But the actual way that we're engaging and the way that we're using artificial intelligence specifically at the moment really hasn't changed that much. Now, as I go through my presentation today, I want you to be thinking about you and your business. Because within your business, and the industry, the sector that you're in, you are a domain expert. Whether you're in banking, whether you're in cybersecurity, whether you're in marketing, whatever that might be, you're a domain expert. I want you to be thinking about this as I'm going through my presentation today. But more importantly, as we heard earlier, in regards to those subject matter experts, who are those people that are inside of your business, whether that's customer service, whether that's marketing, whether that's sales, whether that's your tech team, how can they work together with some of those subject matter experts that are standing outside there at the moment and collaboratively help you make a decision to understand whether or not AI and subsets of AI are important to you and to your business? Their technology is cheap. You're going to be having a bit of fun very shortly with some artificial intelligence. Every single one of you can play around with some AI that I'm going to share with you. The cost of doing that was zero to me. Cost me nothing for 150, 200 people to be able to engage with AI all at the same time. So the technology itself has become quite cost effective, but there is a bottleneck. And I think we all know where that bottleneck sits. It sits with the people. So when we look at this report that you can see now, it's from McKinsey. And McKinsey really broke down the challenges that businesses face at the moment when it comes to really making that decision of going from where you are at the moment as a business to help you to become more competitive, more efficient, and more profitable. What are those challenges that we face in business? So as you can see here, right at the very top, there are three main core areas. I'm going to highlight them for you. The first one being the people and the skills. Now, there's lots of noise around the type of people we need to bring into our business at the moment. And one of those being an NLP expert, so natural language processing expert. We're looking at machine automation. Whatever that looks like, we now need to bring these people into our business to help the rest of the team understand the reality of where we're at the moment. The second part is the technology capabilities. Now, when we look at those technology capabilities, it's more to do with who we are as a business and the technology that we want to use to help us achieve our goals. And the third one, the management. Some of you might think about management as being old school. We've got some great speakers that are going to be on this stage later on, talking to you about leadership. Other speakers that are going to be talking to you about how successful they've been in integrating robotics into their business and how more efficient their business has come today. So really think about these challenges, and you're not alone, that all of these other businesses are facing at the moment. And what can you do today by being here and listening to everybody that's up on the stage and having conversations with those subject matter experts that are outside to help you go through that mindset shift? Now, I've got a bit of a methodology, a strategy that I'd like to share with you today. We said we're going to talk about people, strategy, and then we're going to focus on the business value, where I'm going to give you some great data around how brands are successfully integrating AI and subsets of AI into this business. So the first thing that we need to do is about digital innovation. We heard it earlier, I think it was from IBM. The importance of innovating and going through that digital mindset. We're going to be looking at that. What is your object of transformation? What is it that you want to achieve by going through that digital transformation? And then we're going to be looking at those customers. When I wrote my book back in 2014 and rewrote it in 2017, I analyzed what had shifted over those 3 years. And I'm going to be sharing with you my 5-point methodology to help you get a better understanding. But more importantly, what type of products can you use from an AI perspective that touch the point of every single one of these digital customers? Business transformation, design, user experience. Why should we put more and more features on our website when actually a simple chatbot button will answer all of those questions? Then we're looking at the actual digital marketing of our brand. How do we go out there and talk about this transformation that we're going through? 3 ways. 1, our own content. That sits on our website. That's what we own. 2, paid content. And the third one, my favorite, which is what I asked you guys to do, is those brand advocates, those people that will go out there and earn that media for you. They go and talk about your brands. I'm going to be talking about big data in a minute and scraping to put some perspective into regards to what I'm talking about. And then the final part, the social sales. Omnichannel is so important when you're looking at going through this digital transformation, especially when you're looking to spend your time in thinking about using artificial intelligence for your business. So, AI, what is it? What does it mean to you? Well, as we heard yesterday from Sophie, it's really about us building machines to be able to do tasks that are deemed intelligent. Now, let me put some context on that for you. I've already shared with you how over 20 years ago, we were able to beat a world champion with a computer. Google did the same thing. Turned it around in 3 days at a cost of 35 million. Now, there's a very famous PhD doctor called Rodney Brooks. And he has openly said that by 2030, the intelligence of artificial intelligence will only be at the size of a mouse by 2030. 18 years later, by 2048, it's going to be at the size of a dog. And reiterating what Sophie said to us last night, we will not see artificial intelligence from a human being perspective in our lifetimes. This is the reality of artificial intelligence. Now, you can see the amount of spend. $1.2 trillion this year is being spent on AI and subsets of AI. That is up by 70% from 2017. So there was a huge shift around about 2014, 2015 in how AI can really benefit businesses. And there is a lot of money being spent on trying to understand that value. Machine learning, a subset of AI. When we think about what machine learning is, it's all about us training machines to process data, allowing them to learn, evolve, and adapt. That's what we want machine learning to do. And put very simply for you, and I'm going to use a little analogy, machine learning is a thing labeler. It labels things. This is a jar of honey. It's a jar of honey that's now in my hand. I put it on the table. It's still a jar of honey. If I put it next to other jars of honey, they're still jars of honey. It's been labeled as a jar of honey. And this is what machine learning is here to do for you, to be able to help you automate that. Now, there are some low-hanging fruits around machine learning at the moment. One of those being in marketing and advertising. The second one being data. And the third one in sales. You've already seen earlier how what we're looking at on our screen, the information that we're using on a daily basis, can be analyzed through machine and then visualized in a very simple way. And then we've got NLP, natural language processing. So this, for me, I'm going to put very simply, is 3 things. 1, text. In other words, chatbots. Conversations that a chatbot can have with your customers, prospects, whatever that might be, and learn from that. 2, visual. You saw earlier, I can't quite remember the name of the company, but they were talking about how they can take a camera screenshot of everything that their staff are doing on a daily basis, analyze all that data, look at it, and then visualize it in a very simple way, enabling you to change things accordingly, but then allowing the machine to learn. And 3 is all about voice. Siri on our phones, the actions that we want to take with that. Alexa at home, integrating it to IoT, helping us get a better understanding of what we want to do in our daily lives. So they're the three things for me that NLP really will transform the way that we can use business and get benefits from using this in our business. AI is everywhere. This is another screen grab from McKinsey. There's some great data on here for you, and the different subsets of AI, and then looking at the various different industries that are using it at the moment. And these are actual case studies, guys. This is the percentage of case studies where AI is being used in business today. Let's just highlight some of those for you. When we look at vision, research and development, there's a service provider out there that can help you achieve that outcome. When we look at customer service, virtual assistants, concierge services, I've got some great data to share with you in regards to how, from an efficiency and a profitability perspective, of how great chatbots can be for your business, if it's right for your business. We're looking at operations, advanced robotics, how robots are helping us be more efficient in what we're doing at the moment. Sales and marketing, again, VAs. So this is just a snapshot for you of the case studies that are out there at the moment to help you make a decision of whether or not AI is the right decision to make for your business. Because sometimes, actually, all you really need to do is write a piece of script to achieve an outcome. You might not need to go into deep learning around NLP. That might not be what you need to do. But by understanding who your experts are internally, those subject matter experts, and talking to those subject matter experts, you will come up with the right decision. Because ultimately, what we want to do is automate. We want to automate for those very reasons that I mentioned. 1, to be more competitive. 2, so we can become more efficient. And 3, to become more profitable in what we do in our business. So Tia said earlier, she wants you to take away one thing from today. That one thing is going to be your choice that you take away to whether or not you get deeper into using AI and subsets of AI, or actually going, do you know what, we're not quite there yet in regards to what we want to achieve as a business. And to do that, we really need to focus on that object of transformation. In other words, the object of our digital transformation. Because we must think with the beginning, with the end in mind. What is the thing that we want to achieve by embracing this digital transformation and using AI? And to help you think about that, I want you to think about Pareto's law, the 80-20 law. Spend 80% of your time defining what that object of your transformation is, and then 20% of the time coding. Keep it really simple. It's complex enough where the technology is cheap, but the people are the bottleneck. So let's try and simplify the outcome as much as we can so that we can really focus on the object of our transformation. So just to give you a bit of an overview of where companies are at the moment, 70% of companies actually have an end-to-end solution. Now, in this room today, if your business isn't in that place of having that end-to-end solution from internal to external, then maybe your object of transformation, that's the place for you to start with what's going on. And then for many years now, we've been talking about big data. But the reality of the big data is that only 29% of companies are using big data. Now, for us to be able to be really effective with AI, it's not just the fact that we've got that data there, but that data needs to be rich data. I had a lot of conversations with a couple of companies over in the States and some experts in this field. And one of their biggest challenges, it didn't matter how deep the pockets were of the business, was actually the quality of that data. So if there's one thing that you might take away from today, is actually, if you've got an online business and you've got ticket inquiries, or you've got a high street store, or you're selling B2B, how are you measuring that data? Where are you keeping that data? Make that data rich and available. So let's share a very simple analogy for you. Let's say that I actually had the pleasure of speaking last month at an organization called Resta. I don't know whether you know of it. It specializes about all the restaurants that are in Finland, and having a couple of conversations around the business owners and the challenges that they're facing at the moment. One of those was data. Now, you have data in your restaurant at the moment in regards to how many people come through at a certain time of day, what type of food are they buying, what are they drinking, potentially maybe how old are they if you've done some surveys around all of that. That's great. You've got that rich data. So now you understand what your business is doing. However, by gathering external data, so maybe scraping data from Twitter or an Instagram, for instance, where your customers are either speaking positively or negatively about your brand, allows you to take those both pieces of data, bring it together, and collectively come up with a way of how you can market your business more effectively. So look at using your internal data with your subject matter experts, and think about ways of how you can go out and gather external data. And by bringing the two of them together, that's when magic happens. 1%. It's a very small number. That is because only 1% of companies are actually using AI or subsets of AI in their business at the moment. 1% of the companies globally are actually using this at the moment. But more importantly, when we spoke earlier about the intelligence of a mouse, intelligence of a dog by 2048, the reality of where we're at with artificial intelligence is actually probably 0.1% of where we could be at. The scientists and the professors that are out there don't even know how to get from 0.1% to 3% or 5% at the moment. They've got no idea what that future looks like for artificial intelligence. So this is what I was talking about earlier. I did some of my own personal analysis. I did some scraping, looked at my data, and I really looked at how your digital customers engage with you as a brand. Now, whether you're a B2B business and the conversations happen inside of LinkedIn, whether you're a business that uses email marketing to communicate to your customers and potential customers, I don't know. But what I'm going to do for you now is I'm going to share with you my 5-step methodology to help you get a better understanding of what your customers are doing online at the moment. And then with that, I'm going to talk about some of the technology that you can use in your business at each of these different stages of the business cycle. So this, for me, is all about taking that person from being a visitor, bring them over to our business, then they become a prospect of ours, and taking that prospect and getting them to become a happy customer of ours. Now, I've got over 100,000 people that follow me online. I don't own any of those people. Microsoft do, and Mark Zuckerberg does. I don't own any of them. So they're those visitors that sit over here. They're the people that are being voyeurs at the moment. They're looking, they're maybe going out there from a LinkedIn perspective. People are using LinkedIn to make a decision on working with a new service provider, and they're using LinkedIn to make 80% of that decision before they even pick up the phone or send an email or send an email inside of LinkedIn. 80% of their decision making is being used inside of that social network, and this is data from LinkedIn. So what we want to do is we want to focus on those visitors. We want to do our brand awareness and talk to those visitors. So a piece of technology that we could use that could help you, chatbots. That could be something that you could use. We talked about NLP earlier and the visualization of that. Now, I had a conversation last night with a guy from MTV, and we were talking about the technology, both the technology that the company's using. Is he in the room at the moment? There you are. How you doing, all right? I hope you don't mind me very briefly talking about our conversation last night. Okay, great, thanks. We were talking about the technology the company's using, but more importantly, how can it tell its visitors, prospects, customers all about the opportunity around AI. And we spoke about the visual aspect of that. And then we were talking about drones. And so when we look at what NLP can do for you and what drones can do from a visual perspective, that helps you create content for your business. And so that content could be the first part of actually taking that person from being a visitor, but being, more importantly, you're sharing relevant content to that person that connects with them. Because when you've got this data, this is all about then doing your audience-first marketing. So then we go through to the engagement phase, where we want to have conversations with people. As I mentioned, chatbots. There are over 30,000 chatbots that sit inside of Facebook at the moment. Over 30,000 chatbots where people are already engaging with brands inside of Facebook alone. So that's good for the engagement phase. Then we're going through to the nurture phase. Now this is where I see businesses failing the most. You spend your time doing the brand awareness. You're using AI or subsets of AI to achieve that outcome. You're getting that data and then doing nothing with it. So there are some great startups, and one in particular that's coming out of the UK at the moment, which allows them to take your data, to scrape data in your domain, and then bring that together and send out focused emails and focused marketing automation emails that connect with your perfect target customer. It uses NLP to understand that tone. It helps design that perfect subject line. The content that sits inside of that email, created from what we've learned using NLP. Then we go through to the sales stage. So getting that sale of that customer. We've already seen some great data where robots are actually visualizing what's happening on the screen at the moment. We've also looked at actually how chatbots can sit at this side of the sale. There was an online retailer that decided to use chatbots to help get more sales within their business online, to help reduce the efficiency around all of that. And actually, that was an increase of 6.3% of sales, but more importantly, 70% of those sales came through the chatbot. So it was all automated for that sale happening. And then the final part, those beautiful brand advocates that go and talk all about your brand. And are going to bring you right back to how NLP helps create content, that visual content. If you don't have that owned media on your website, if you don't have that owned media in the form of PDFs inside of Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever that might be, wherever your choice of channels are that connects with your target customers, if you don't have that content, those brand advocates can't go and share it with their community. It happens a lot inside of LinkedIn specifically. Great content gets shared. So this is my 5-step methodology and ways that you can actually embrace AI and subsets AI of that marketing process. So by sharing that with you, I wanted to also highlight the fact that it relies on digital. And that data that I shared with you earlier, 70% of the companies have an end-to-end solution. Only 29% of companies are using big data at the moment. So when we look at this digital process to help you go through a digital transformation, I've got a 5-step methodology that I'd like to share with you today. And this is your digital use case. And this is the methodology that will help you think about whether or not AI is right for your business. You've done your data analytics, your predictive analytics, whatever that might be. You've understood what the problems are in your domain. Your subject matter experts have clearly told you that. So at that point then, we come up with that perfect solution. And we describe that solution internally. We then look at the current situation. Have we got the right tech? Do we have the right people? What's the timeline around all being able to achieve this? What are our competitors doing at the moment? This is our current situation of where we're at right now as a business. And then we look at the benefits. Is that really going to benefit our customers by bringing this new process together? We're going to build this MVP and go out there and test it. And then we look at the value proposition. One thing that I often see with brands is that they're innovating internally, but then you look at what they're saying and doing externally, there's a massive disconnect. Very simple question for you to think about. Is your value proposition on the front page of your website? Are you talking to your customers the moment that they get told about by a brand advocate or they research you online? And then the priorities around all of that. Do I need to do some data mining? Do I need to do some scraping? Do I need to hire somebody new into my tech team? Do I need to outsource this problem? What does that look like? So this is the digital use case that I'd like you to think about when you start deciding to use AI within your business. So I said I was going to have a little bit of fun with you guys today. So what I'd like you to do now is, please pick up your phone. Grab your phone. Now, I know you've all got phones because you're all taking pictures of Sophie last night and videos and taking a picture of her in the background. I know you've all got mobile phones. Grab your mobile phone. Then go online, and I want you to go to this link, warren-knight.com/chatbot. Go over to that link now, and you're going to have some fun with some AI. I'm going to take you on a bit of a journey around what might be important to you. Would you like a copy of this presentation? Because that's built into this little chatbot. Do you want to find out more about me and my bees? Do you want to come connect with me inside of LinkedIn? What are the things that are important to you, and you choose to take those actions? And as I mentioned earlier, the cost of the technology that you're using at the moment is 0. It's a free piece of kit that I integrated onto my website so that you guys can have some fun with it. I wanted to share the simplicity and the fun that you can have, but the journey that you go on around the decisions that are important to you within your business. Now, chatbots. We've mentioned about chatbots already a couple of times and where they fit into what I like to call that 5-step methodology that we were talking about earlier. And so I want to share some data with you around how chatbots are being used at the moment. In banking, so there was a bank that decided to use chatbots and put it on the homepage of their website because one of the biggest problems that they had were people getting to the homepage and not knowing where to go next to take an action. Whether that's to, I want to get a mortgage, I want to get an overdraft, I simply want to log in, whatever that might be. So they engaged with the chatbot so that not only, instead of them trying to build more features on the homepage of their website, from a UI perspective, just kept it very simple and went, there's a little box that sits on the homepage of our website. What would you like to do, Mr. Visitor? And so by implementing that chatbot on the homepage of the website, it reduced calls by 75%. One very simple chatbot. E-commerce. I shared with you earlier the online flower company, 1-800. 6.3% increase in sales, 70% of sales through the chatbot. Retail brand, H&M. They really got to understand who their customers are and what was important to their customers. And their data told them that 80% of their customers use their mobile phones to engage on social media. 80% of their customers do that. And so what they decided to do was set up a mobile chatbot. Didn't put it on the website, kept it inside of their mobile phone, because that was what was important to their customers. Travel and tourism is another great way that can be used for chatbots around what's going on. Restaurants, I've shared with you earlier, a potential way that you can go out and gather some data around what's going on within the business. And then healthcare, another very popular way that chatbots can be used. Now, there is a bit of a challenge in healthcare as far as the data that you have and the object of your transformation that you want to go to. And the bit that sits in the middle that you'll probably hear a common theme about today is all about the people. Doctors write in shorthand. They scribble. Now, whilst you can take those notes, scan it, and we can do some NLP with that, but can it be read? So healthcare has a real challenge around specific chatbots. Recommendation engines, something that I was talking about with the guy from MTV, and some of the data that I've got to share with you here. YouTube, the second largest search engine in the world, and its two most searched for words being how to, generates its revenue from recommendation engines through paid advertising. You watch a video on how to do something, it then gives you, based on the searches that you've been doing previously, other videos that you might have watched, or what that particular video is all about, give the opportunity to buy a product, or to click and find out more about that. You look at Amazon, 35% of its revenue comes from recommendations engines that use NLP. In other words, the other day I was looking at getting a mouse guard for my bees. We're coming into winter, mice like to get in, so I had to get a mouse guard. It recommended about 3 or 4 different types of mouse guards, everything ranging from about £5 to about £15. But it gave me those recommendations. When you look at Spotify now have 2 billion playlists because of the recommendation engine. You like a certain type of music, we're going to recommend that certain type of music for you to either put into your own playlist or recommend other people's playlists for you. It took that business from 75 million users to 100 million users in a very crowded space from having this recommendation engine. And then we look at Netflix. 75% of what is watched on Netflix is through the recommendation engine. 75% of those choices of things that we watch on Netflix is based on what we watched previously, or what we want to look at, what our interests were. So NLP plays a massive part in helping this subset of AI grow businesses. So just touching on NLP and some industries, customer service, those concierge chatbots, really helping that individual get to where they want to go to and learn from it as it happens. Content creation. We spoke about drones and what drones can do with that data. You saw earlier one of the sponsors that are outside, how it looks at what's happening on the screen and then creates content for people to be able to go and take actions. I spoke about that email marketing company that then will generate content specifically for that target audience. Marketing. One of the 3 biggest ways that NLP is being used at the moment, with sales along with data. And then knowledge management. What's happening internally? How are my staff engaging with other people? What are those conversations that are happening? Slack is a great tool to be able to help you with that. You can build in some NLP into that around what's happening. Robotics. I've only touched on robotics a little bit today. You are going to be hearing from other people around robotics. But back in 1942, there were 3 laws of robotics. Does everybody know what these laws are? I'll share them with you anyway. So, a robot may not injure a human being or through interaction allow a human being to come to harm. 1942, these laws were written. Number 2, a robot must obey the orders given by a human, except in such orders that will conflict with number 1. And then a robot must protect its existence as long as it doesn't conflict with 1 and 2. Now, what I said earlier, I was going to entertain you, have a little bit of fun with you, and that's going to continue now. Now, for some of you that don't know me and didn't do any research on me, I used to be a professional hip-hop dancer many, many years ago, I will just at that point. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick on somebody in the room. I'm going to ask them to come up on stage here, and based on how you guys engage with us, I will show that person how to do the moonwalk, and then something that Sophia wouldn't do last night, would do a bit of robotic dancing. Now, there's some nervous faces in the room as I look around going, don't pick on me, don't pick on me. So I'm going to make it really easy for you. I'm going to pick on Tommy, the compere. Is that all right if we pick on Tommy? So Tommy, come up on stage here, please. Now, as I said, this is down to you guys. If you want Tommy to do the moonwalk and then do a little bit of robotics and lock-in, it's got to come from you. So you have to bring the roof down. I want clapping, I want screaming, I want shouting, I want feet banging on the floor. So if you would like Tommy to do the moonwalk and some robotics, please clap and scream and shout now. Woo, 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 woo. So Tommy, I'm afraid the audience have spoken. So what they have. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to do a quick hack when it comes to the moonwalk, because it is a little bit complex in regards to the concept of being able to look like you're walking forward but actually moving backwards. So I'm just going to show Tommy a quick hack, seeing as we're talking about technology, and then at the end of it we're just going to do a little bit of robotics for you. Okay, so Tommy, if you'd like to look that way, so stand next to me here. Yeah, you're the one that's important, not me. Stand and look at that screen here. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to show you a quick hack how we can do the moonwalk for you very quickly. So what I want you to do here is, on your right foot, be on the ball of your foot. Then what we're going to do is, while we're on the ball of our foot, we're going to drag our right foot back and lift our right heel up in the air. At the same time of pivoting on our left foot, being on the ball of our foot, dragging our left foot, and then the left heel coming in the air. So we're going to go ball, heel, ball, heel, ball, heel. Does that make sense? Okay, everybody ready? You got your cameras ready? This is going to be Tommy's little party piece in the future. Okay, right. And then we're going to finish up with a little bit of robotics. Are you all right with that?
All right.
Bit of nervous in his voice. Okay, right. So remember, so it's right foot, ball, heel, left foot, ball, heel. And we're just going to move backwards. So we're going to move towards the back of the screen. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Ready? Come on, you could do it. And then we'll stop, and then we'll do a little bit of robotics, and we'll do some popping and locking, and we'll look on the stage like Sophia. Excellent. Thank you very much. Excellent. Tommy, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all. I just want to give you some honey, Tommy. Let me give you for being a wonderful moonwalker on stage. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, scale. This is what we want in our business. If you want to achieve scale, is it that AI will achieve that outcome for you? That's the question that you've got to ask yourself. The two things that I would like you to get from scaling your business are growth and efficiency. If your objective of transformation doesn't tick these two boxes, then maybe using AI or subsets of AI might not be right for you now. You want to scale, you want to grow. I've shared some strategies with you, some processes with you today, some data, success stories around how other brands are using AI at the moment. Because I want to help you improve your business. And the ways that AI and subsets of AI are helping improve brands at the moment are through personalization. Really getting the answers to those questions around what's important to those prospects and customers at the moment. Retention. Helps retain those customers, whether that's done through marketing automation, whether that's done through retention of staff, whatever that might be. Can give you an amazing ROI if you've got the people, the strategy, and then you've got the right technology to achieve that outcome. Increases basket value. Now, basket value doesn't necessarily just have to be from a B2C perspective. It can be B2B as well. When you understand what the actions that individual is taking of wanting to buy our products, helps you then upsell and cross-sell. And the last one gives you engagement on automation. Helps you engage with the people that are important to you and to your business, completely automated. So humans and AI can be better together. We just have to embrace this technology decide that we want to go through that digital transformation, and take baby steps to achieve that outcome. So my name is Warren Knight. This is all about artificial intelligence. Kiitos.
Thank you, Warren. Great presentation over here. And remember to use the Slido app. You have possibility to have a question for Warren if we have some quickies.
If not, I'm going to be around today, so just come over. I'm going to find you, whoever you were that tweeted, and I'll give you some honey.
Well, recently, Warren, you were visiting Lapland, and
yes.
You actually mentioned that you do business in sauna here in Finland.
Yes.
What do you recommend how Finnish companies could do business with artificial intelligence in sauna?
In where, sorry?
In sauna.
In summer?
In saunas.
Oh, in saunas, right, okay. So how to do artificial intelligence? Well, I think it's understanding what part of AI is important to you. You know, simply starting with a chatbot might be a good place to start. Gathering some data and looking at how NLP can really help you get a better understanding of what that looks like might be something that you want to do. You know, but ultimately, as I mentioned before, you might not need to use AI. It might just simply be that you need a piece of script that will achieve an outcome for you. You don't need to go through all of that complex decision making. So really understand what your object of transformation is.
All right, thank you, Warren. Any questions still from the audience? No questions? Thank you, Warren, and you will be here around if you want to have a question a bit later to Warren.
I will indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.